Hi, I'm Steve here at Eagle Creek Farm, and it's April the 7th. And I know if you've been following, you know that we went in lockdown here on our farm on the 13th of March. And so just to give you a little background to start up, bring you up to date, on the 12th of March, we had all made a decision, all four families here on our family farm had made a decision that we were going to go in lockdown. So on the 12th, we left and all went to town, did various shopping for our families to allow us to have enough goods, I guess, food, greens, vegetables, and things like that to last us for a period of time. And of course, we've been in lockdown now for over 3 weeks. So all of those greens like lettuce and just anything like that, fresh stuff, is pretty well gone. Although I have got an early planting of garden that's got a lot of greens and stuff that are up and going, and we'll have greens out of the garden here in about another 10, 12 days. So that's not gonna be enough. So one of the members of our family, my daughter, is going to break quarantine today and go to Walmart. And she had, prior to leaving this morning, she had given us all an opportunity to provide her with a list. So we gave her a pretty extensive list of things that had come to our mind, really, or our attention, that we weren't very well prepared for. Things that we might need when we start baking our own bread, like, flour and baking powder and baking soda and Bisquick, all of those things. When we start using them, we realize, well, hey, we went into quarantine with that box of Bisquick half full, and she's been making biscuits and waffles and stuff like that, and it's about empty. So we're going to get new things of that. Well, anyway, all of that's going on today. I told you earlier that my wife and I have been been prepping for an emergency for a number of years. Matter of fact, we started prepping over 5 years ago when we lived in Christian County, Missouri. And then part of that prepping was we had been thinking about for a long, long time that we might like to go off the grid. And we just couldn't financially see that was feasible when we were already living on grid in a house that was designed for living on grid. Didn't have any Energy Star appliances, nothing like that. Well, to redo all of that stuff would have cost several $1,000s. So actually, we just decided, hey, let's move. So we sold our farm down in Christian County. We moved to a property that we had out in Lawrence County, which is where we're at right now. And so a little over 4 years ago, close to 5 years ago, Elaine and I built our house here. We also built a one-bedroom apartment for my mom, who was elderly and needed a place to stay and needed care. And she lived a portion of her latter years there in that little one-bedroom apartment, which is only about 15 feet away from us. Then on the north side of that, my daughter Leslie lives with her 6 kids. And then up the hill almost the highest point on our property, my daughter Penny lives with her 3 boys. They're all home from college and high school and everything because the schools are all shut down. So this morning she decided she was getting a little low too, even though she had shopped on the 12th like the rest of us. So she was getting a little low on food, and she decided to go shopping for herself and her family that would be enough to last them until the 24th of April, which is when Missouri's lockdown, or the governor put into effect a stay-at-home rule. And that will expire, if you think it will. I don't know. It could be extended, whatever. But at least there's a date there, the 24th. So she wanted to go shopping to get up to the 24th date. And all of the rest of us did too. So here in just a few hours, she's going to be coming home with all of those goods. And then we are at the point then where my wife and I, Elaine and I, are looking at that and saying, well, we've been on the farm way past gestation periods of COVID-19, so we're pretty safe. We were starting to, hug each other again, sit close to each other. All of that stuff was starting to happen because we absolutely had been locked in this farm for that period of time with no outside contact, and no one was sick. And so we thought, we're pretty well free. Well, now Penny's breaking quarantine and going to town. So that's going to start this process all over for us again. And she's going to bring this stuff and set it on our front porch, and we're going to start the process of disinfecting it and bringing it into our home. Disinfecting like fruits and vegetables. We're going to soak it in I believe she's going to use a Clorox solution. You can do it in Clorox or iodine solution. Clorox is quite a bit cheaper than iodine. So we've lived in Central America for 7 years in the past, and we knew from moving down there and discovering, man, you can't eat any fruits and vegetables in Central America without expecting to get sick unless you wash them. And so all of that stuff is stuff we've have done for years. We know how to do it. A few drops of chlorine in a gallon of water, just so it's not slimy. If it's slimy, put more water in it, because you should not be able to detect the sliminess of the chlorine in the water. We will submerge everything. If she gets strawberries, blackberries, blueberries, any kind of thing, including the lettuce, all of that will be submerged, soaked, shook around in that water, and then taken out and put in another vessel where you have just fresh water, and you wash it and get all of that off of it. And then you dry it, and then you put it back in your refrigerator or wherever to dispense it. Stuff that comes in packages and boxes and bags and stuff like that, we're going to spray that down with a disinfectant and wipe it with Clorox wipes, and then set it out in the sun to dry and to hopefully disinfect due to the sun. I think sun is a great disinfectant, so we're going to use that today. But in the process of doing that, because we've been prepping for a long period of time, I was prepping, and maybe my wife, I should say, was prepping too, looking for some kind of an emergency. And we built a list in our minds of what kind of an emergency we would put on the top of the list. The top of the list emergency that we put on was an EMP produced by an action of war. In other words, a country might explode a nuclear weapon above our country in the atmosphere, that causing a pulse of energy that would come and destroy all electrical devices. Well, we live off grid, so the chances of us surviving that are a little better maybe than most, but that could release some nuclear fallout and everything, so you might want to prepare for that. And the next one would be a coronal mass ejection, a sun flare from the sun. We're overdue. We've had that back in the 1800s. We had that happen, and haven't had one since, I don't think. But that's a possibility too. It does about the same thing as an EMP does. Other things that we were concerned about were volcanic eruptions, or maybe even earthquakes and things like that. A lot of times stuff like that can catch you a little bit unaware. So we went out and decided one of the things we better do is be able to breathe. And so we bought several, I don't know how many, but a whole bunch of these. I'm not going to take it out of the bag, but it's just a little cloth filter that has a little air intake filter in it. You put it on your mask, just like you've been seeing on TV, but this is a little bit better maybe than those, but not much. So we've got that. That would be first line. That's just for dust and airborne particles that you might have. People use them for all kinds of things. Pretty simple to use, fairly inexpensive to buy. I guess along with that, we bought several of these little DeWalt goggles. They're quite a bit better quality than what you see wearing on TV right now. These have a rubber seal that goes all the way around. So if you seal that down on your face, you get a rubber seal there and protect your eyes. We've got several of those, and so we would be able to wear those to protect getting things in your eyes. Then another mask that is a higher quality mask, and the instructions on this, we weren't thinking about an influenza pandemic at the time, but we knew that it was a possibility. So this It's a little bit higher quality mask. It's sealed in a package, and the instructions say do not open it until you're ready to use it. So I'm not going to open it, but I can tell you that we know that it fits fairly tight. It's a little bit larger, folds back underneath your neck, and then straps around the back. And it has two of those little air inlet things there, and they have filtration in them that can be changed, can be washed, whatever. And this, according to the instructions on the back, says that it will protect you from viral influenza, it says. So this is a lot better mask than normal, and a little more expensive, but hey, not that much, and we've got several of those. Another thing I want to mention right here and tell you, you remember watching TV, if you have done that, you've noticed that all at once we were short on respirators. Oh my gosh, we were completely out of respirators. They needed them. I'm sure they did. People getting so sick they needed to go on ventilators. All of that stuff in my mind made me think, as good land, they're really suffering from those things. And then within just a matter of a few days, we had 1.5 million respirators were available all over the place, and my mind went, good land, how can they be making, or what, they just find a massive warehouse full of them? Well, the difference in ventilators and respirators is the fact that the ventilator is something that you can put a person on and breathe for them. A respirator, which, I don't know, it kind of threw me off a little bit, and they call it an N95 mask, is what that is. Well, this is several grades above an N95 mask, and a lot more expensive than an N95 mask too, but that one will protect you from a viral load. So the next thing that we did is we bought some of these, and these have canisters on them. The canisters are what are the quality that you buy the canisters, and this one is a viral canister. It screws on here to one on each side, and you can get them all the way from just dust to viral to nuclear biological chemical, NBC, warfare type stuff that can protect you from that. And having had a little military training and knowing how to prepare and win a nuclear biological warfare situation, I can tell you that these things are the ultimate. Now, I don't have this adjusted. I just unpackaged it out of the box, and we have some of these for the farm too. So you put this on and seal it, and I don't have this even sealed down, but it's already airtight. You pass yourself out in here. But anyway, it protects your face from anything, and of course prevents you from inhaling anything, including virus. This will filter it though, so this is perfectly, this would be the ultimate, I think. Maybe not the ultimate, but this is about as expensive as we wanted to go to buy some and put them away in a locker, and I think they'll do everything we want them to do. And Elaine and I may wear these today. I'm not exactly sure. Kind of got to the point where you look at it and say, well, that's pretty expensive, but expensive compared to having the virus or something like that. If that's the case and it protected you from it, then they were really cheap. So I'm not for sure, but we're going to put on clothing, gloves and mask at least, and a respirator or a face mask, and probably we may rethink that. We've got a couple hours here before it gets here. One way or the other, that's how we're going to handle all of the stuff that comes in on our farm. And hopefully it'll keep us safe. We will implement again on the farm social distancing because someone's been out, and she's going to bring every family here food. And so we're going to not only stay in lockdown or relock for her, because she's gone. She's a younger, healthier person than us for sure. And so she has made the decision that she'd be willing to do that for everybody. Now, I know that they're wearing masks and gloves and clothing down in Walmart. They may look a little strange down there, but you know what? Don't kid yourself. strange for a moment is easy to take if you know you're protecting yourself from a major illness, and it is getting worse. Here in Lawrence County, we don't have any cases of coronavirus yet, but in Christian County next to us, there's multiple cases and deaths, and it's still going. They're just really starting to ramp up. So anyway, just a quick video to let you know that we're dragging stuff out of our old preparedness locker and starting to implement the use of it here on our farm. And thank goodness we were able to prepare, because I thought, well, now would be a good time to especially go online and maybe buy some more of these, because they are washable and everything, but I don't know. I think once you wash them, according to this, they can be washed, but I don't know. Just seems to me like it might be nicer to have them fresh, but they're not available anymore. They're completely gone. So are the gas masks. The DeWalt face shields are available. And then other than that, there's just not a whole lot available. So we're glad we bought those in advance. Anyway, I just wanted to give you that little heads up and let you know what we're still doing here on the farm. We're protecting ourselves and you, because we're staying out of your community and you stay out of ours. And God bless you. I hope that you have the ability to stay safe. I hope you have friends and relatives that you can contact by media and get you through this. We used to call it cabin fever. When you stay inside for a long time, like over the winter, when we lived in Alaska and lived up there, you stayed inside a lot, and you kind of get a little bit crazy, I think, because you get cabin fever. I haven't felt that this yet, even though we're here over 3 weeks, but there's plenty to do on the farm right now. It's a greening up time, new calves being born, milking and eggs and chickens and planting vegetables in the garden, all that stuff going on. So haven't had a chance really to sit down and relax, or oh, I've relaxed a lot. Matter of fact, watch way too much TV, I guess, but we're not getting cabin fever, and that's good. So it's good to have a mate. It's good to have somebody you can rely on, somebody that you love and they love you and are able to look out for you and protect you. And my wife's around there mixing water and Clorox, I think, or iodine, one or the other, for preparing for our water right now. So anyway, God bless you. Stay safe. And if you're not prepared, this should be a wake-up call for you, because we will get over this. But it doesn't mean we won't have another catastrophe. And if you can do something to prepare, I think it'd be great. Love you all. Have a great day.